I'm Phil Gale. Welcome to the programme. The United States is promising what it calls a very consequential response to a drone attack that killed 3 of its troops in Jordan and wounded dozens more. US officials say the strike on Saturday hit a military outpost known as Tower 22 near the border with Syria. It's the first time such an attack has killed American soldiers in the region since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. US President Joe Biden has blamed Iran-backed militants, though Iran denies involvement. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin used a meeting with NATO Secretary General in Arlington, Virginia, to condemn the attack.
Well, good morning, everybody. Let me start with my outrage and sorrow for the death of 3 brave US troops in Jordan and for the other troops who were wounded. The President and I will not tolerate attack on US forces, and we will take all necessary actions to defend the US and our troops.
Laura Blumenfeld is a senior fellow at Johns Hopkins School for Advanced International Studies. I asked her about the US's likely response.
Well, there's a whole menu of retaliation options here. They could fire back at Iranian-backed proxies, which they've already done 10 times inside of Yemen. They could also choose to go directly to Iran, both inside or outside of Iran, economic or military targets. And there's the cyber option, which kind of gives you some deniability if you want. But I think that they're most likely to go for a high-value target if they take their own advice that they've been giving the Israelis, which is to be precise, strategic, and pinpoint. They've had some success with that in 2020 when President Trump took out General Suleiman. There was this dramatic strike, and they were able to back-channel message to the Iranians to say, tit for tat, we're done, do not escalate, and they got the job done.
Right. So that would be your anticipation, a strike in Iran against a specific target?
Not necessarily on Iranian territory. It could be outside of Iran, but I do think they need to send a strong message without escalating to war. So how does the president walk that line, right? They want to create deterrence without an all-out war, which has been a main goal for the United States from the beginning of this conflict, which started back on October 7th. Primary goal, do not escalate into regional battle. And as we're so close now, we've seen this week in Paris where there's this hostages for a ceasefire or at least a 2-month pause in the fighting in Gaza. We're getting close. And the last thing President Biden wants to do is blow up, another front in the Middle East as we're reaching potential peace between the Israelis and Hamas.
Right. So the group responsible or that is claiming responsibility for this is one of these umbrella groups for what are widely regarded as Iranian proxies. If the US and Iran and pretty much everyone else in the world is saying the last thing we want is an escalation in this region, what purpose do you think was behind the targeting of this US base?
Well, I think that these proxy groups actually have a lot to gain. I mean, look at the Houthis in Yemen. They gain in status and prestige. And so for them, it's all win. For Iran, I mean, they're very eager to sort of take little bites and nips out of the United States. They'd like to push them out of of Iraq and Syria. So they're happy to kind of diminish the United States' prestige in the region without going into all-out war. But these small proxy groups have everything to gain, Hamas included, by attacking the big bad, devil, the United States.
Right. And just talk us through then Iran's involvement in this. Iran has said, we didn't do this, and the actions of these various groups, these resistance groups, as it calls it, that's nothing to do with us. So talk us through Iran's involvement beyond financing them.
Well, look, inspiration, a lot of, there is financial backing, there's technology. Iran pulled the same kind of, we did it, we didn't do it, immediately following October 7th. They kind of want to have the benefit of taking down the United States and Israel without paying the price. And it's understandable. They have their own domestic politics. That's what makes this moment in time fascinating and treacherous, right? We've got this military calculation. How do you respond without over-responding? You've also got domestic politics in the United States. We're in campaign season now. Biden is thinking about his reelection, and he's got pressure from Capitol Hill, there are Republicans saying that there's blood on President Biden's hands, and you've got President Trump also running for re-election, calling Biden a wimp. So you've got domestic U.S. politics, domestic Iranian politics, and then there's this regional fragility, because tremendous fragility, because Israel is threatening to go to war in Lebanon to push back on Hezbollah. So we've got three things happening at once, spinning up. Biden's got a very, very fine line to walk, but I think he can do it. His key goal is to assert, I am in command, I am the leader, not these sort of nuisance proxies or, frankly, domestic political problems.
OK, thank you for talking us through that. Laura Blumenfeld from Johns Hopkins University.
Thank you.